The CIA allowed private security contractor Blackwater to use fake journalists to gather intelligence from the Middle East. That's the allegation of the Wayne Madsen Report, which challenges the CIA's claim not to use journalists as agents. Well, we're joined live now by the author of that report, investigative journalist Wayne Madsen, who is with our correspondent Dina Gusovsky in Washington. Dina?
Hi there. Well, this story really has all the goods. The CIA, Blackwater, journalists. It all sounds kind of like a movie script, but according to RT contributor and investigative journalist Wayne Madsen, it's real. Apparently, two people working as subcontractors for the CIA have links to Blackwater's operations in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. So, who are these people? What kind of links are we really talking about here, and how could they get away with this? Well, joining me to answer those questions, Wayne Madsen. Thank you so much for being here. So help me put this puzzle together. You have the Central Intelligence Agency, Blackwater, these so-called journalists. What is going on here?
Well, a lot of focus right now is on Blackwater, which received a prime contract to engage in a lot of covert operations around the world, including, now we're told, targeted assassinations, and including the use of foreign mercenaries. Now we know that some of the subcontractors in this operation, two in particular, using phony press credentials from United Press International, which is owned by the cult leader Sung Myung Moon from South Korea, were engaged in this activity.
Whoever issued these press credentials, were they involved in this then?
Well, they had to be. I mean, this is the worst case scenario when we talk about embedded journalists. These were not journalists, but actually in one case, one of these individuals received a journalist visa from Iran to visit Iran as a journalist, was actually involved in target analysis and target spotting in 2003 for a potential U.S. attack on that country.
I mean, some people might read this, might hear this report and say, okay, what's the big deal? But here's the thing. The CIA makes it a point, has always made it a point, to say that we do not use journalists as agents. This is not the first time, probably not the last time, that the CIA is going to come under fire. How are they going to respond to this?
Well, they're going to deny. They'll use their pat answer. We can neither confirm nor deny any of these operations, but it has been their policy, although we know in the past some journalists have been used for intelligence operations. But overall, it puts journalists in a very bad position of being looked at as potential agents. That puts every journalist operating in any part of the world in jeopardy of being called a U.S. spy.
Now, you also wrote that you learned that a Blackwater security operative actually infiltrated the presidential campaigns of Mike Gravel and Ron Paul. Talk about that a little bit, because I think that that's something completely new that a lot of people haven't heard about. One
Blackwater employee who was armed with loaded weapons, had infiltrated the campaigns as a security person, was present at the presidential debates featuring two protected candidates by the Secret Service, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, but also the Republican presidential debates where John McCain, Mitt Romney were there. So this, when confronted with this, the Secret Service said, look, security personnel hired by private campaigns are their business. They didn't seem to be at all concerned about this individual, who was also flying on commercial flights with loaded weapons with permission.
So you're saying that the Secret Service also kind of was involved in this, or was given the go-ahead to say this is okay?
Obviously, there was a wink and a nod to have this particular individual who had a pass with Blackwater to be present at these presidential debates, where there were a host of people, including current President Obama, was present with his Secret Service protection.
All this stuff coming out of about Blackwater, now known as Z, what is the future of this company? I mean, how many more stories do we have to read to say, okay, look, maybe this isn't such a good idea?
Well, the United States in the past used to condemn the use of mercenaries. When the Portuguese, the French, and others used them, it was bad. And now we have adopted the use of these mercenaries as policy. I think this has to be revisited. I don't think that we need to have mercenary companies operating in this country or on behalf of the United States government abroad, and Congress may want to look into these issues a lot more deeply.
All right, well, we're hoping that they do. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to be following this story from here in Washington, D.C., but for now, I'm going to throw it back to you in Moscow.
Well, thank you very much, Dina. That was RT's Dina Gusovsky.